Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'll just share my screen.
Okay.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. Fine. So I'll start. Hi everyone. So today I'm planning to talk about backing up a PostgreSQL database. While the talk might seem quite trivial, I'm sure that as we delve more into it, you'll see the complexities in taking up what ought to be a rather simple task. So before we start, my name is Shreyas. I'm the head of engineering at a small product company here in Chennai. I go by Shreyas R on Twitter, so if you want to talk to me, that's where you can find me. Um, Also, it's been, I think, about 3 years since I've given a talk at Chennai by now. I think the last time I spoke was Python. So it's been quite a while. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see everyone and to hear you all out. So, okay, let's get started. So the context I assume over here is that you know what PostgreSQL is. For all those who don't, it's yet another relational database management system or an RDBMS, much like your SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, or whatever it might be. I consider it to be one of the best that's out there. I've used most of them and I feel the most comfortable with PostgreSQL, majorly because of the ecosystem around it and the kind of documentation they provide and the features that's already inbuilt into the database. I'm a large attribute of making boring software, and PostgreSQL is one of my is the first thing I reach for my stack. The second thing is, why should you back up your data? I'm assuming the talk is directed towards people who are building business applications, and business applications usually intends that you have some customer data or the other that needs to be stored. So that's technically not your data. So you need to be responsible for someone else's data, and hence the need for a backup itself. So in the agenda, we'll basically look at the common ways in which we do backup and restores. We'll talk about what the problems with that is and how do we go about solving it. So to get started, the common approach that people usually back up a PostgreSQL database is by using an inbuilt tool called pgdump. Now, pgdump is a fantastic tool, comes with every PostgreSQL installation, and it helps to create consistent backups even if the database is being used concurrently. So that's a very good guarantee to have. So let us say that Uber at some point in time wanted to back up their database, then they would basically issue a command at their command line, and in their backups directory, they have a backup for yesterday. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? So they can stay happy with the backup. Now, the question then arises is, should I run this manually? In the Linux world, no, you don't have to. You have a cron that you can set up a timer, say at 4 a.m. Every morning, where you can tell a pgdump to run, which would eventually give you a latest backup at 4 a.m. every day. But this is just not enough because we have to look at the restore operation. As I'm sure many of you would have heard or seen, a backup is only half the journey. Your backups are only as reliable as your restores. So that without a restore, doing a backup is almost useless because you can never tell about the integrity of the backup itself. And sure enough, PostgreSQL gives you a tool for that, which is called pgrestore. And pgrestore basically operates on a dump that's created by pgdump, and it reconstructs the database to the state in which it was at the time it was dumped. Pretty straightforward. So let's say that for whatever reason our DB is down, you basically issue another command on the pgrestore with the latest backup as of the morning, and you now have your businesses back. So these are all pretty straightforward. But wait, there, there is a problem that I'm intentionally skipping over here. So consider that the DB was backed up automatically at 4, which is what we've set the cron tab to do. There's obviously going to be new data over here. So the people are going to be requesting rides in the case of Uber, money is going to go out, bookkeeping is have to be done, whatever it might be. So there's some new data that's generated. And this is stored on the same database, and then the DB crashes at 4:30. So this is about 12 and a half hours of time in which there has been data that is stored on the database which is now crashed. So the real question we are asking here is what happens if a system fails after a backup and before the next backup? This is really the crux of the problem itself. Unfortunately, the answer in this scenario is that you're going to be dealing with some amount of data loss. Sure, at some point in time you can come and tell me that you'll run a PG dump every single hour or every half an hour or whatever it might be. And yes, that does reduce the amount of data loss that you have, but it doesn't mitigate the fact that you are definitely going to have some order of data loss. So in this scenario, there is no other option except to deal with a data loss situation, which is a bad situation that I would not wish on anybody. So is there a solution to this kind of a problem? Sure enough, there is, and it's called continuous archiving. This is yet another thing that PostgreSQL themselves provide, and it consists of having to do two different things. One is basically to do file system backups, and the second is a process called wall archival. Now, these two seem like very hi-fi thoughts, so I'll break it down. Let's look at the file system perspective. At the end of the day, a database also needs to persist into some particular place, and that's usually the disk or the file system. So you need to basically understand that every PostgreSQL database does its business in a PG data folder. So this PG data folder is usually not kept as an environment variable, though you can define it, but it's usually maintained. So in the PG data folder, you basically have all of the data for your PostgreSQL database, and on different vendors or on different distributions, these are in different places. So it depends on which distribution you are using, and you'll find your PG data folder over there. So the question arises there is to, will all my data be here? And the short answer is no, because it is very, very expensive to write to disk. So as a performance optimization, PostgreSQL usually never flushes to disk very often. So I would rather change my answer to saying no, but that's okay. And the reason that's okay is because of the second part of our problem, or rather second part of our solution, which is the wall archival. So let's go a little bit into understanding what a wall itself is. A wall is a transactional concept called as a write-ahead log. And a write-ahead log is basically a log file that you maintain before you actually flush onto the disk. So the changes are always written to the log first, and then periodically whenever PostgreSQL finds the time and the resources it will flush that particular remaining set of logs, or rather the work done in those logs, to the disk. Now this is a fantastic approach, and all of the walls are stored in the PG wall folder in PostgreSQL. So let us look at it more pictorially to understand. Let us say you are writing some data into a PostgreSQL instance. The first thing that PostgreSQL does at this point in time is to write a wall. Now walls are 16 MB size, they can be changed, all that stuff. I'm just operating with the defaults for now. Once the wall writing is successfully done, at some point in time, it basically flushes it out to the PG data folder. So that is how the whole thing works. Now, if you look back, so now we have an idea of what we need to do in order to do wall archival and what file system backups are, right? So I can rephrase this by saying that file system backups means I need to back up my PG data folder, and wall archival means I need to archive the PG wall folder. That's the whole baseline in the continuous archival process. So let's look at how we want to back up the PG data folder. Sure enough, there's yet another tool in PostgreSQL for that called PG base backup. Now PG base backup is used to take base backups of a running PostgreSQL instance. And this, now we are moving from the concept of backing up a database to backing up a cluster itself, which means that a cluster can contain more than one database, and you're going to back up all the databases in that cluster. Because you're working at a physical level, you're not working at a logical level of a database, you're working at a physical file system level. So a base backup can help you to take a backup as of a particular point in time. The reason PostgreSQL gives you a tool for this is because there are file system inconsistencies, PostgreSQL constraints to keep in mind. So in order for us to not take care of those things, PG says I will give you a tool by which you can use it as the starting point for your continuous archival process. In order to archive PG walls, PostgreSQL again handles this for you by asking you to set three different pieces of configuration in your PostgreSQL.conf. One is that you set your wall level to replica, which is to tell PostgreSQL please create walls enough for me to create replicas. And the second thing, you set your archive mode to on. And the third thing is you give it an archive command, basically a command that you want PostgreSQL to use in order to do the archiving process. Now this can be anything that you want. It can be an rsync, it can be a copy command, or it can even be your own script as such. As long as it does something, PostgreSQL is happy to run it for you. Going back pictorially, what happens is, let us say after a wall is written into the PG wall folder, PostgreSQL basically calls your archive command and it does whatever job it needs to do. This is a fantastic process that is reliable and fault tolerant. So let us say that you are moving your archives to another machine. Now what happens there is, if that other machine goes down, PostgreSQL is smart enough to understand that, oh, I have not sent him 5 walls, let me wait. And it keeps all the 5 walls. When the machine comes up, PostgreSQL realizes, oh cool, this machine is up, let me send those particular walls now. It's extremely robust, and sometimes it can come back to bite you, but it's a fantastic way to do wall shipments. Archive command is absolutely the best. So now that we've now understood how we want to back up PG data, we've also understood how we want to archive PG wall. But the real question over here, before we go into the question, let's look at how our solution would look like to the problem that we had with continuous archival. So this was what we started with, right? We have a database backed up automatically at 4, some new data generated, and a DB crashed at 4:30. This gave us 12.5 hours of data loss. Now we replaced the initial backup on the top with a base backup at 4. And the new data that is created is anyway archived via our wall archiving process. So if a database crashed at 4:30 p.m., we basically restore the base backup, which we took at 4 in the morning, and then replay the logs. Once we restore the base backup and replay the logs, we are back in business with absolutely no data loss. Of course, there is a certain downtime associated with this, but we are not talking about that at this point in time. What we are talking about now is basically coming back into business with no data loss. But wait, now that we've learned all of this, there is still something to think about. The question is, do I need to do so much work? And this is a lot of work. Even though it is repeatable work, this is a lot of work. The question is, should I do this much amount of work? And the answer there is no. Because as we are extremely privileged people, and other people have done the work for us, the other people who find this more interesting, which in the case is tools that are available. Two that I will mention, one of them is called PG Backrest and the other one is called Barman. These two are fantastic little tools in order to do this. They don't get in your way, they just do the work and then get out. But the one that I would suggest, the real long-term answer to how do you effectively handle a PostgreSQL instance, is basically to use what are called as managed instances. Now managed instances, when I'm talking about in the context of if you're on the cloud, managed instances are provided by almost all large cloud infrastructure providers, AWS, DigitalOcean, Heroku, sure others do it as well. So basically they say, you give us some extra money, we'll take care of everything for you. So we'll maintain a replica, we'll ensure that restores are going out fine. They will take care of the entire process for you and you just have to pay them extra money. Which if it is something that you can afford, I would say that you should go ahead and do this. In conclusion, there are some things to remember. Always test your backups irrespective of how you do it. pgdump and pgrestores are development tools per se. There are a lot of uses for pgdump and pgrestore in production scenarios itself, but not in the context of doing backup and restore. Use continuous archiving in a production scenario. So that can either be Barman or PG Backrest if you are self-hosting your PostgreSQL database. Or even if it is better if you can, then a managed instance would reduce a lot of the pain for you. In addition, I would definitely recommend everyone to read the PostgreSQL documentation. It's one of the finest pieces of literature that I have read. It reads like a bloody story. So you can just spend hours on it. The entire content of the slides came out from that one particular thing that I have linked over there, which is their backup documentation. So all of this is basically mentioned over there. Maybe not the tools, but the rest of it you will be able to find it over there. And with that, I'm done. So thanks you all for giving me the opportunity to talk. Stay safe and wear a mask. I see a lot of people wearing chin masks or no masks. I think we are still in a pandemic, and do wear your masks. Thanks. I'm happy to take any questions if there's time.
Yeah, sure. Yes, we have a couple of questions on the chat.
Okay.
So the question from Sharmila.
Hi Sharmila. So this way of backup is very very version sensitive. That's where your PG backup, PG dump and PG restore would ideally shine, because they are version insensitive. Again, there are some cases on PG dump that are version sensitive as well. But if you do a plain SQL backup via PG dump, that's not version sensitive. Yes. So to answer your question, yes, this way of backing up a continuous archival process is very very version sensitive. And when you do a DB upgrade, you'll have to upgrade the associated replica as well. If you don't, then you'll run into issues. This is something that I also ran into, which by mistake I ran an upgrade which I should not have run on one side. And then what happened was my disk blew up. I reached about 80% capacity, and my alerts went off, and that's when I realized and had to upgrade the other portions as well. So yeah. Yeah, and Vijay, yeah, I was getting to read only mirrors.
Okay.
I was building the story basically.
Right. I think read-only mirror is also implemented in the same
Yeah, it is. It is.
mechanism.
Yeah, streaming replication. It is under the hood. It is the exact same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Rahul, I think your screen is still shared. I'm seeing two screens. That's right. Okay. I don't think there are any more questions, so I'll conclude over here. Thanks, all.
Thanks for the talk, Shreyas. So it's good to see you back after a long time.